Hi y'all, this is Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wings, here with another video. Today we're going to make a really cute Christmas card. I have gone through my stash, looked at my stuff. I have decided I have way too much stuff, especially paper. So I have made a conscious decision and a promise to myself that I will use up some of this paper. Some of this paper I have had since I started scrapbooking about 25 years ago. So some of it's old, but it's beautiful. And so I'm only going, when I was going through things, I only found 1 or 2 sheets of this and 1 or 2 sheets of that. And so I thought, I only need one to make this card. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make Christmas cards this year. And let's see how it works. So, first thing that we have is this little card. It's just a simple card. It doesn't open up or anything. At the back, it has a little tag, just a little Christmas tag that I got out of my stash. On the back, I put a little piece of journaling paper and I make this paper myself and print it. And I do sell it in my store at pinkdragonflywings.com, spelled with a Z. And so that will be for my sentiment to the individual person. The people that I'm making these for right now will probably be my grandchildren. So I want to have a little space to write something personal to each one. And then in this pocket is a little envelope. It's a little envelope I made because my grandkids have all gotten so big, with the exception of 3 of them, that I don't have a clue what they want anymore, so I give them money. So I'm going to tuck this little pocket, this little envelope inside this little pocket, and put their money inside the little envelope. And then that way it'll be kind of like a Christmas card and a present all in one. So that's what we're going to make. This is just a little snippet cluster that I had made, and it was laying here on my desk, and I thought, that looks cute on there, so I put that on there. I have lots of embellishments that I've had forever and ever, and I'm going to use those up as well. So here we go. Let's give it a whirl. So I'm going to put our little prototype back here just so I can kind of keep an eye on it, make sure I'm doing okay. These little pieces are for the little envelope, and I've already done the scoring and that kind of thing. But let's start with this piece right here. We'll put these over here. Now, this paper started out as 12 by 12 paper, regular scrapbook paper. I cut it down to 8.5 by 11, regular size sheet of printer paper or whatever. So this paper is reversible. It is a little thicker. If you can find reversible paper that's a little thinner than this, it works, because that whole card is made with this one sheet. And when your cardstock's a little thick, it gets a little thick. So anyway, so we're going to start. Excuse me. I want this to be my front. So I'm going to turn this over. Yeah. And I'm going to fold up this way. Fold it in half, matching up those lines as best I can. Get my bone folder. Excuse me. Make sure it's good and smooth. Take it apart. Fold it in half this way. So basically what we're doing is we're taking that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and we're folding it into quarters or into fourths so that it will be the size of our card. Now, manipulate these little folds just so that they're flexible enough that you're not going to have any trouble. Don't worry if it cracks on the edges like it's done here, because I'm going to ink it anyway. Okay, so there we go. We've got this. Now then, we're going to turn this over. We're going to take this corner and fold it up even, not quite even, with this little crease right here. We don't want the folded piece to interfere with the crease at all. So we have to make sure folding isn't my best thing. You can fold it up and make sure that it's not interfering with your fold, and then fold it down. Okay, we're going to turn it back over and fold this down. I folded about halfway up here, maybe a little more, but about halfway, and I just kind of eyeball it. I don't measure it. I want it straight, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so turn that and turn this over. Now we're going to turn this part up even with this one, and we're going to fold it in like this. And we have our two pockets. A pocket here, a pocket here. Now, you could fold this little corner down a little bit and make you a third pocket, but for what I'm going to do, 2 pockets is plenty. I only have enough stuff to fill up 2 pockets for Christmas, so 2 pockets it is. So we're going to fold it down, burnish it, make sure it's really, really good and creased. Now, we're going to need to glue, but before we glue, if you've watched a few of my other videos, which would only be a few because I only have a few, but I ink everything. So I'm going to ink, and I'm just using Vintage Photo, and I'm going to start, and I'm just going to ink all the way around all of these pockets. And I like it to have a really dark crease line, not so much on the paper itself, but the crease, so that it kind of shows. So I want that crease to really stand out. Ink all the way around. And this is mainly because I don't like the white edges of the paper. You can see this has been inked and it's dark, and this hasn't, and it's got that white look to it, and it always looks to me like it's just not quite finished. So I like to ink the edges and ink everything. Come back over here. Okay. Now then, we want to ink the bottom. Like I said, we were going to ink this and ink it really, really good. And it covers up those little pieces where your cardstock is cracked. Sometimes this heavier cardstock tends to crack a little bit more when you fold it. And I think it's because we're not folding it on the bias of the paper, but sometimes the bias doesn't fit my pattern. So there we go. All right, so now we've got that inked. Now we need to glue a little. So we're going to start right here, and I glue these back 2 pages together. Now, if you were going to have another pocket here, you would not want to glue those together because it would glue your pocket. But I don't have another pocket back there, so I want to glue this really good. If I can get my glue to come out of my little bottle. And I just tried it a while ago, so I know that it was working. We'll get another pen and poke it in again. Seems like I spend most of my time poking this pen in this little hole, but I love this little nozzle. I love this little nozzle because it lets you make a really small bead of glue. There we go. I'm going to glue it right here. around the edges, just a little in there to hold it down. Make it smooth. We did not ink this side, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to fold this little deal down just so that, glue it down a little bit, just so it doesn't interfere with things sliding in and out of the pocket. Then we're going to put a little bead of glue right here on this side and on the bottom. If we don't put it on the bottom, our stuff's going to fall through. So we're going to put it right there like that and fold it down and burnish it really well. I just burnish with my hand. We want that open, so we're going to leave that part open, and then we're going to glue this little section right here down, just so that our stuff doesn't fall out of it. Okay? So now we have our little card all made, and you've got a pocket here and a pocket here. Okay? So now we've got to look at what we're going to put in it. So I have all of these little things here, these really cute little pages of stickery things. Now I have some more of, I have a tag like this that would be really cute, especially for my youngest granddaughter. She's 7. And so got a little piece like that, another little tag like that, and it seems to, that kind of seems to fit the feel of it. So let's use this again. Again, I ink all the way around. And I just tore these. I printed these little tags. I don't remember where I got them, so I apologize. If you recognize them and can tell me where I got them, I will be glad to note that. But I don't remember. I'm real bad about getting something, and I'll get it offline, and then I'll print it, and then I forget where it came from. So ink the back. All right. So now we've got that inked. I have this little paper. I think this is predominantly a red card. So I think on the back of the tag, I want to put a little piece of green and kind of look at it and measure it. And I think if I go about to that line right there, that will give us plenty of room. So I'm going to cut just below that line and cut this off. Again, I have a lot of printed paper. I don't know if I have the red and green in my store, but I have a lot of printed paper in my store, and that you can purchase, and I use it a lot for the backs of journaling, all kinds of things. I'm going to ink this up a little bit. Now, if you wanted to tear this to match, you could certainly do that. I just had this little strip already cut, so that's what I went with. So we're going to put a little ink, a little glue, get my ink and my glue mixed up here. Put it on here. Doesn't take a whole lot. I love art glitter glue. Make sure you have it right side up, and then just center it on the back and tap it down. I do use my bone folder to kind of go over it just a little bit, because I want that glue underneath there to spread out and not be clumpy, because if it stays clumpy, it's gonna it might interfere with your writing later. So if you just kind of smooth it out a little bit, that helps. Now then, I have some of this frayed cotton, and I did buy this on Etsy. I don't remember who I bought it from, but I did get it on Etsy, and it's frayed cotton. And I'm going to make a little pull tab just to cover this up a little bit and make it look like I want it to look. Just cut off a little piece, however big you want your little tag. Since I'm using fabric, I am going to use my Fabri-Tac. And it's been laying here for a while, so it probably is kind of stoppered up too, but we'll see. There it goes. Put a little glue right here. And flatten this out. Now you could staple this, and sometimes I do staple these, but this time I just decided to just glue both sides. And I turn it over and put just a little bit of glue right here at the center. Smooth out my ribbon and tack it down. Kind of hold it for a minute. The Fabri-Tac catches very quickly and will be fine. And then if you want to put a little something, a little bell or a rhinestone or something on there, then you can certainly do that. This is going to go back here in our back pocket. We can kind of angle it like that. Okay? So now then, let's work on our little envelope. I have a little envelope here. Now this is my template. This is 6 inches this way by 3.5 inches this way. And then I laid it down on my scoreboard. I scored at 1 inch from the bottom, in 1.5 inches on each side. So this one is 1.5 inches. This one is at 4.5 inches on your scoreboard. Okay? And then we're going to cut these little corners off. So I've already scored this. And since this side is the predominant color on the card, I think, but it's going to go in that pocket. Yeah, I think that we're going to put this on the outside. So the first thing we're going to do is these little corners down here on the bottom. We're going to cut those off. This is going to be the flap of our envelope that's going to fold up. So we're going to cut here, right on that little fold, on that little score line that I cut, into the 1.5 inch score line. And we're going to turn it over, and you can see the score line here, and we're just going to angle it ever so slightly and cut that off. Yep, we're going to cut it off. There we go. Angle in ever so slightly on this side. Cut that little nubbin out. Okay. Then we're going to fold this up. And I just did it the backwards way. We're going to fold this up right here. Bone folder it in. Now, before we do this, I fold this in half, but I don't fold it with a permanent crease. I just fold it over so that I can cut these little corners on our little envelope. Now, you've got your fold line, your score line right here on this side, and it's also on this side. So those should line up. I'm going to start at that score line and cut down at an angle and just cut that off. Okay? So this is how your little envelope is going to look now. Again, we need to ink it. So let's try inking the right side, Pam. I know, sometimes I just start inking and then I get done and I think, well, that didn't work. really don't have to ink that because this is the part that's going to be folded in. But again, make sure you get this line so that it's covered with ink. Okay, ink the top, and this is going to show, so we want to make sure that the back is inked really nicely. I go ahead and ink these just because we're going to fold these in. Let me get my little template out of the way. We're going to fold this in here. And we're going to fold this in here. And hopefully, if we're really lucky, it will meet ever so slightly. I only want it to meet ever so slightly. Now, if you cut it and it doesn't quite meet, get a little piece of washi tape and put on there. That'll fold it down and hold it just fine. Okay. And then there's our little envelope. So we're going to get just ever so slightly a little bit. Well, before we do that, we need to fold this in. Well, good gracious. Put a little glue here and a little glue here to fold these in. I'm going to put that one down first because I want this side to be out. Then I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right here. And if I have a concern here, we can use this to put in here just so it doesn't leak. Okay. Make sure that that seals really good right there. And we have our little tag. And on mine, I put just a little tiny rhinestone right here. Find my glue, so let me put just a little dot. That's probably a bigger dot than I need, and I have some little rhinestones here. Oh goodness, there's one. That's a little bitty one. Let's see if we can find a little bit bigger one than that. There we go. Me and these little picker-upper things we just don't gee-haw very well. I don't know how to work the silly thing. Gracious. There we go. Stick it in that little dab of glue, and it just gives it just a little bit of, just a little hint of a sparkle. Now you could put them on down here and decorate the whole thing up, and that would be great. If you want to do that, you certainly can. Got this done. We have our little envelope. I like that. Now then, we need something here. I have stickers, I have cardboard things, I have all kinds of stuff. And this is all stuff that's in my stash, and I just wanted to use it up because it's time. It's pretty. It's cool. Okay, so I have this page of stickers here, but I really, really like this little Santa Claus. So let's get him off. Put a little ink around his edges. Don't need a whole lot. Just enough to kind of dull down the white. There is just a little white edge around there. And I have a real hard time with just white. Simple and minimal is not my thing. So let's put him tell you what, that might, how about if we put a little piece of gauze? Let's see, what did I do with my gauze? Little piece of gauze here. My scissors have so much glue on them. I don't really know how they cut anything. Fray this up a little bit on the edge. And put that down. And then let's put just a, goodness gracious. Well, goodness gracious. Let's put you over here. Just a little piece over there just to hold this down. And then I'm going to put, this is a self-sticky sticker, but I like to always add a little extra, because especially with some of these, because some of them I've had for a while. So want to make sure they stick. And put that down there. Just enough. Let's scoot that whole thing down just a little bit. And put him right there. And let's burnish it just a little bit. And then we have our card finished. With supplies you already have. How amazing. Isn't that awesome? Great. Please try to make one. See how you do. Send me a picture. I think they're awesome. And they're especially nice. It's especially a nice little card if you're going to give money or a gift card. You could slide a gift card down in here very well. And it's better than just, you know, putting a gift card or a $50 bill in an envelope and saying, here you go, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. So it gives them a nice little memento. And then I will stamp it on the back and probably sign it. And my grandkids will have it so they can keep it, or they can throw it away if they want. But most of them keep the things that I make and send. So anyway, there you have a really nice little card. I hope you enjoyed making it with me. I'll tell you what, before we go, this just looks a little plain to me. So let's get a little bit of Fabulous Fix. Put a little dot right here. Yeah, little dot. It's hard to get just a little dot of that. Little dot. And where is that little pointy, picky-uppy thing again? See? I don't know. I don't know what I do with stuff. I had it. I used it. It's gone. There it is. And let's get us another little rhinestone. And put it right on that little dot. And it just gives just a teeny tiny little bit of sparkle. Okay? What you think? Great. If you like the video today, please click the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these wonderful adventurous things. Visit my website at Pink Dragonfly Wings, WINGZ.com, and see if there's anything in there. We do have a lot of scrapbook things and journaling things, but there's some other things in there too. We have a little section that my mom makes some things, and a little section that my daughter makes some things, and you might find something, just find the perfect thing there. So check it out. Click like, subscribe, share, pass on, send to everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.